It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT. I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I wanted to discuss this real quick because, you know, I'm a huge Terence Crawford fan. He's one of my favorite fighters in the history of boxing. Really love watching him fight, but I call a spade a spade. When Terence Crawford beat Errol Spence, after everything to beat Errol Spence, he started kind of acting like Errol Spence, you know, big time in Jaron Ennis, saying he don't want to fight Charlo no more, doesn't really talk much about fighting Tszyu, right? All he talks about is fighting Canelo. He wants to go up, like, 3-4 weight classes and fight Canelo, right? Because, he wants that money. He want to make that last big payday before he, hangs it up. And truth be told, I'll be real, there probably is no bigger fight in the sport of boxing than Canelo versus Crawford if it ever happened. It's a pretty damn big fight. But let me give Terence Crawford a healthy alternative, because you don't want to fight nobody that we want to ask. You don't want to fight Boots. You don't want to fight Charlo. You don't really mention Tszyu. Nobody really cares about the Spence fight, but you're going to fight him because it's an easy fight and you make a lot of money. And it was contractually obligated, right? But I'll give old Terence an alternative, right? Because, old Teofimo Lopez was on the Sean Porter podcast. Shout out to the Porter Way podcast, my guy, Sean Porter. Haven't seen and spoken to him in a minute, but got to do that soon. He was there with them, and basically, he wound up on the show pretty much saying, look, he want to fight Terence Crawford. And technically, Crawford hasn't announced any... He hasn't vacated... I don't think he's vacated the WBO belt. Has he? Yeah, so I had to check. He hasn't vacated the WBO belt. It was only the IBF that got stripped from him. So he's still the WBO champion, right? So technically, if he wanted to, and Teofimo Lopez could petition with the WBO as WBO super champion, and he could try to enforce a title shot. And he said he's interested in fighting Terence Crawford. And you know what? That's a nice, healthy alternative. That's a big fight. That's actually a good fight for boxing. Because we know Teofimo's a big name in the sport, for the hardcores at least. He's done things. He beat Lomachenko. He's beating Josh Taylor. Like Teofimo. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. There was a point in time where Top Rank was talking about before Josh Taylor had the shit show performance against Jack Catterall. They were talking about Josh Taylor fighting Terence Crawford. That was a fight I wanted to see at one point. Teofimo has defeated Josh Taylor, so now I feel like he kind of taking his place as the guy from the lower weight classes that maybe could get a Terence Crawford fight. And you know what? Why not? Why not? It's not like Terence is going to fight Boots. It's not like Terence it's not like anybody wants to see him fight Earl again, because we know how it's going to go. It's not like he's calling out Tszyu. He's not calling out Virgil. He don't want to fight Charlo, right? So that's a good alternative. I like that fight. I like that fight a lot. It would be a chance for Teofimo to become a 3-division champion. 3-division lineal champion? Terence Crawford fighting, one of the best younger fighters from, I wouldn't quite say his era, but, in and around his era. Why not? Why not? This is what boxing's all about. It's about being great. It's about giving people big events and momentous occasions that they're going to talk about for years to come. I mean, when you make the great fights happen, when you make the fights with the big names, people remember it. And why not? It's like Teofimo can't get the fights, or not can't get the fights. He declined the fight with Ryan Garcia, right? So he kind of pissed that opportunity away. Devin and him aren't going to fight until that makes like a lot more money than it would make now. Tank's not going to fight Teo, right? So all the guys that we want to see Teo fight, he either has declined to not fight them, they're not going to fight until the money makes sense, or they're just not going to fight him at all, right? And he's not going to fight Subriel Matias, right? We know Teo's not going to fight him. So with the way the whole landscape is and the whole politics and the bureaucracy of boxing, and I like that word. That's what I'm going to start putting more in these videos, bureaucracy. The bureaucracy of boxing. It actually lines up to where if Teofimo Lopez has a discussion with WBO president Paco Valcarcel, he could petition for a world title shot. And why not? And why not? Because Terence is twiddling his thumbs waiting for Canelo. So let's just give him a nice healthy alternative. I like the fight. I think style-wise, you obviously favor Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford is a better boxer than Teofimo. Like Teofimo Lopez is very athletic, but Terence is athletic too, and Terence can switch it, and Terence has great legs and he's very strong. But Terence is still getting up there in age, and Father Time could be knocking on his door, because Father Time knocks on every fighter's door, no matter how good they are, no matter how disciplined they are. That's why it's very imperative, and it's very, important that you make as many big fights as you can before Father Time comes and takes you away, because it will happen at some point. And Teofimo Lopez, we know, apart from the George Kambosos fight, which honestly, I just think it was a really bad night at the office for him. And every fighter is entitled to those. Every fighter has them. Sometimes for fighters, a bad night could be a boring fight like Shakur. Sometimes it could be an upset loss. But every fighter in the history of boxing has a bad night. Let's not get that twisted, right? So Teofimo isn't, the Kambosos fight doesn't define him. I think him and Terence be a fun fight. I like, Teofimo can be a slick boxer at times. He showed that in the Taylor fight. Teofimo is a bit unorthodox, right? So there's some things athletically that he does. I feel that if he moved up in weight, could offset some of what Terence does. Obviously, I think Terence would beat Teo because he's a naturally bigger guy. I think he's a better fighter. But Teofimo Lopez would be a challenge for any. There's no such thing as an easy Teofimo Lopez fight, because even the guy that beat him, George Kambosos, still had a hard fight and almost want to get it stopped himself in that fight. So never forget that. So why not? You guys ask why. You guys say that's a waste of time. Why not? I'm tired. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of Terence Crawford acting like I like him. I'm a fan of his, but I'm tired of him acting like everyone has to kiss his ass, and like he don't want to. Like all he talks about is fighting Canelo. And my thing is, you can't just wait for Canelo. Like Canelo, he could fight Terence Crawford. We don't know. Maybe they will. That's a big fight. It'd be big for boxing. It'd be probably the biggest event that could happen in boxing. No doubt about it. But to me, and it's one of the corniest fights in boxing, just because it's a 147 going up to 68. Like, come on, man. Like, really? I mean, if Terence wins that fight, then God bless him. He's already a legend in my eyes, but he'd be even more of a legend just for doing that. But I'm just saying, like, the more realistic fights would be like Boots, Tszyu, and even this one. Teofimo Lopez on Terence Crawford's resume would look great. I would definitely say, and y'all can feel free to agree or disagree with me, but I think if Terence Crawford were to defeat a Teofimo Lopez, it would be the most accomplished fighter on his entire resume. I'd even class it above Errol Spence. Errol Spence was a 3-belt champion, yes, and a damn good fighter, but we already know, like, Errol Spence was never as good as Terence. I said that for years. Anybody with a half a brain said that for years. And Errol Spence has only been a champion at welterweight, right? Teofimo Lopez, on the other hand, has beaten better. Like, Teofimo's resume is better than Errol Spence's too. Like, Teofimo, yeah, he lost to Kambosos, and that's cool, but he beat Lomachenko. He beat more legendary fighters on his resume than Errol Spence did. So in my eyes, I look at Teofimo in a way as greater than Errol Spence, because he's challenged himself and he's beating some real good fighters. That's not even counting Richard Coleman when he was champion, or Nakatani, which was a good one as well. His body of work holds weight. So I think quiet as kept. I know Terence will downplay it. If anybody in the media asks Terence, will you fight Teofimo, he'll downplay it and he'll laugh. But quiet as kept. He'll hype up Ricky Burns, he'll hype up Errol Spence, he'll hype up Gamboa, he'll hype up Andrei Klimov, he'll hype up Victor Postol, who I like, but he'll hype up all those wins. But quiet as kept. If they were to ever fight and Terence were to defeat Teofimo Lopez, that's the best fighter and the most legendary fighter he would have on his resume. And I'm going to leave it at that. Hopefully this could be a nice alternative. I doubt it happens, but I just wanted to make this video and give my little 2 cents on the matter. You guys can leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.